What up, Dokkanners? It is time to reveal my memorial stone count for the year 2024. In this video, we are also going to be doing a comparison breakdown with a bunch of other creators that I reached out to. It's not everybody because there are a lot of content creators out there, so I just chose a small subsection of people, and we're just going to do my traditional little breakdown. I didn't do one last year because nobody responded, but thankfully this year a lot of people responded. So we will be going through all of that, and then at the end of the video, I will discuss what I think you should be doing with your memorial stones. I think it's important that, especially beginner players, you do listen to what I have to say, because some moderation is important. Case in point, for those of you who spent your red dragon stones during the countdown, you might have been very surprised to notice that the Super Saiyan 3 Goku AGL unit is featured on this banner. And a lot of people I saw in the comments spent their red dragon stones on this exact unit, and then, surprise, surprise, he showed up on the banner. So while there are a few brain dead, very obvious things you should be doing with your memorial stones, I do think that some patience will be useful, because as we get closer to part 2, maybe the end of the celebration, certain situations may change that will allow you to have more options if you hold on to those memorial stones right now. So like I said, we'll discuss that at the end of the video. For now, let's jump in and take a look at how many stones I have, and then we'll do the full breakdown. Wait, where do you look for this? Treasure? Yes. Okay. So I have 1602 memorial stones. Now, for those of you who've been around over the last few years, you might notice that this is actually a drop from years past. Yes, it is. And we will get into why in just a minute. So let's switch over here. For those of you who don't know, a memorial stone is a special dragon stone that can be used to exchange for certain SSRs or tickets. I forgot to mention that. I made this like 3 years ago. You can get one memorial stone for every 50 dragon stones consumed between August 17th, 2023 and August 20th, 2024. This consumption entails summoning, revives. So if you get a game over on an event, if you burn a dragon stone, that counts. If you refresh stamina for link leveling or a bunch of events and stuff like that, that counts. If you burn dragon stones for something like the Baba Shop selection reset, that also counts. Any which way that you could possibly use up dragon stones, all of them count towards your memorial stone. But this is the cutoff. So since then, we've had about a week in. So anyone who's been summoning on Cell Max or any of the worldwide banners, those stones will be included in the following year's numbers. So don't worry, that will all count next year. In other words, the more memorial stones you have, the more dragon stones you used all year, aka whale alert. High correlation between whales and memorial stones, which is ironic because the more of a whale you are, the less you actually need the things that you use the memorial stones for, which is why they are so willing to do this, because it's the people that are kind of like in the middle, that sweet spot, which is like a dolphin, moderate spender, that truly benefit from this. Whales really don't. That's why they don't really care about giving us all that stuff. We'll go into the specifics as far as like which units are worth picking up and all that later on, maybe in another video. But for now, let's jump in and do the content creator breakdown. So here we go. These are the 20 people who responded back to me. I think I sent out about 25 to almost 30 messages. Some of them did not respond. So it's fine. It's not a big deal. This is just a small subsection. So if your name is not listed, or if you're wondering why you're not in here, it's not, there's nothing personal. I just simply reached out to some people, they responded, and that's it. That's all. In the future, I might mix it up, but I just don't want to do like 40 or 50 data entries. This is not my full-time gig. All right. So obviously at number 1, the Truth DT, 2758, which is actually not his most amount of stones consumed, but with over 137,000 dragon stones consumed, that's a lot. That's way more than a lot of people will probably see in a lifetime. But for him, it went down 3%. And you might notice a little trend here. A lot of people are in the red. The reason for that, I think, can simply be explained by the pity system. The pity system, I think, is an absolutely huge contributor to a lot of people not spending as much, because with that 1,000 stone hard limit on yellow coin banners, and with the atrocious discounts that typically come with those banners, that major chains probably de-incentivizes a lot of people from summoning past 1,000 stones. And it's usually those types of banners that really contribute to people just getting carried away with summon after summon after summon. After you do your 1,000 stones and you get your pity unit, also the guaranteed featured multis also disappear. So those two things not being there, why would anyone want to summon after that? So I think that is one of the biggest factors as to why so many people are in the red, myself included, by the way. But yeah, minus 3% for Truth is actually, that's huge. Because if you think someone at his level who summons that much, a pity system is an absolute godsend. Because who knows how much more it would have taken had there not been that final copy guaranteed on 5 different banners, right? So that's huge. Now, coming up at number 2, I think some of you might not have heard of this person, but I have been shouting him out recently over a lot of streams. Brother Russia. You want to know who the real global whale is? It's not me. It's not Goresh. We're not even close. It's Brother Russia. And you know what's funny about this? He's not the only one. The way I see this, it's like Dragon Ball Z versus Dragon Ball Super. There's a certain level of power that we grew accustomed to with Dragon Ball Z. And then when we were introduced into Super, we were introduced to this whole new realm of existence that has been there all along in the shadows. You never heard about them, but they knew you, but you didn't know them. Those are the chain battle gods. The chain battle gods operate at this level. I think, I was talking to Brother Russia about this. I think he's the highest among them, but there are a lot of other players on Global and JP who spend at this level. And I asked him, is he an aggressive link leveler? He's not. So these stones that he consumed are basically all for summons. Chain battle god. All the chain battle gods put up these types of numbers. So we don't compare. 2275, 113,000 dragon stones consumed. What's really sad about this though, is that this is a 20.6% increase for the guy. And I talked to him, he got shafted bad. I've seen his tweets. He's gotten shafted pretty badly on a lot of banners, stemming all the way back to Worldwide Part 2 of last year. So for Brother Russia at number 2, I would not be surprised over the next couple of years if he overtakes Truth. Just saying. He spends a lot on the game. Coming up at number 3 is Goresh with 1783. This is actually not his highest amount. He's had more in the past, but compared to last year, this is actually a 12% increase. I think I do have his number. So I've been doing this since 2020, and every year I've been expanding a little bit more and more. Yeah, dude, Goresh was at 2076 back in 2022. I think at the time he was doing more Dokkan though, which is why the number is much higher. Since then, he has obviously been doing far more Legends content, but yeah, the fact that this is a 12% increase from last year, I talked to him, he told me he's been getting shafted on both Dokkan and Legends. So that's like a double L for Goresh, which, no comment. Coming up at number 4 is me. I got 1602. This is actually not the most amount of Memorial Stones I've had. This is a 15% drop for me from last year. Now, this can be attributed to 2 things. Number 1, I've started to set a hard cap on my stone summons. I know I'm still a whale. I am not trying to deny that claim, but I set a hard cap on all of my summons. For anniversaries and worldwides, I typically set my cap around 5,000, 6,000-ish. I know, absurd. But then for regular summons, I had a 3,000 cap. On top of that, though, I did get stupidly lucky a lot. So those 2 reasons are why I am down 15%, because quite honestly, I was expecting to be at least 2 or 3. But the fact that I'm down this much means I got very lucky. So it is completely well-deserved that I am getting blasted on this worldwide banner now. It's fine. It's karmic justice. It is what it is. But that's me at number 4. Nano at number 5. He did not give me his numbers from last year. Look, it's a miracle he responded at all, so I'm going to take it. But 1100 here, I don't know if this is a combination of his global and JP. I'm willing to bet that this is just JP because I believe he is a JP main. But if you consider the fact that he also does global content, or he summons on global and whatnot, I would say that this number is probably higher, if not around my number, maybe higher. But Nano being in the top 5 makes total sense. I mean, you've seen Nano, you know what he does. At number 6, so we've covered the top 5 here, so I'm not going to be able to go over every single person's numbers. I will shout everybody out, but just a couple more here. Slaybyx, massively on the rise, who also does Dokkan and Legends. This is a big jump. This is actually kind of reminiscent of me a couple years ago when I made the big jump into like the top 5, 6. So I would not be surprised over the next couple of years if we start seeing Slaybyx in the top 5 when it comes to these sorts of numbers. 20% increase. One of only few people who actually spent more from last year to this year. But again, makes sense. He's on the rise. D. Simons dropped 13%, which is a bit of a surprise. For those of you who don't know, he is a Spanish Dokkantuber, and he is among the chain battle gods. So what I'm thinking, I don't know. My guess for this big drop is probably because of the ending of chain battle. I think. I don't know, but that's just my guess. But look at all of these red numbers here. The pity system. The pity system did this for everybody. Minato, minus 12%. Steven Z Killer, minus 16%. Also, not a Dokkantuber, so it's also good that he's dialing it back a little bit. Mr. Diddy Sauce has basically become the Legends guy, so he has dropped considerably in terms of his Dokkan activity, but he's still there. But 64% is definitely the biggest percentage drop in the bunch here. Celtic Link, up-and-coming Dokkantuber, minus 5% drop. So it's good that everyone is benefiting from the pity system. Dokkan World on their JP account, minus 6.7% drop. Havohai continually sliding down the rankings year to year, saving more and more each and every year, which is awesome. I remember when I first started, I didn't have too many people that I spoke to. I didn't even actually in 2020. I don't think I even spoke to Truth. I just knew who he was. So I saw that he was talking about his Memorial Stone count, and same with Nolar. The only person in this bunch, actually there were a few. The rest of them I spoke to. I didn't speak to Truth or Nolar. They were up at the top, and then number 3 is Havohai. But if I had put everyone else's numbers in there, there would have surely been a bigger, a bigger section of players up at the top. Havohai being number 3 is just wild. Absolutely wild. But he's now number 13, so it's all good. Master Carter, another up-and-coming Dokkantuber, dropping 12.7% from last year. Again, a beneficiary of the discount of the pity. And then we got a wild card here. Alpal Dokkan. What the hell happened to cause someone to increase their stone consumption by 145%? We'll come back to that. I see Josh. He was actually on the rise for a couple of years in terms of his stone consumption. 181, 320. Wait, yeah, 181. Yeah, 3. Okay, I actually didn't have too many years for this. Okay. Yeah, but he also kind of dialed it back. Dokkan Assets dialed it back as well, both 25% down. Vilify, another up-and-comer, minus 15%. Mr. Baby, the Broly guy. I expect his numbers next year to be crazy solely because of this worldwide celebration, dropping 24%. Jay Fanta, the free-to-play god, obviously going to be at the bottom because he's not spending Dragon Stones. He's just burning Dragon Stones for link leveling or other things like that, minus 11%. So he's somehow still saving stones from last year. Now, again, coming back to this guy right here, what the hell did he do? He stopped being free to play. So for those of you who are shocked at this number, it's not a whole lot. Remember, percentages are relative. So when you compare a 145% increase for Alpal Dokkan compared to a 3% drop from the Truth, that's a major difference, okay? So he went from like 125 stones spent last year to 306. Very uncharacteristic of someone who doesn't spend that much, now basically doubling the amount that they've consumed. So as he continues to spend more and more year in year, it's going to be less and less of a surprise, less and less of a jump. But yeah, that's why he's number 1 in the biggest percentage gains. Coming up at number 2 really sucks, but Brother Russia is at number 2 with 20.6%, and the number 3 is Slaybix. This is a lot of stones, man. A lot of Memorial Stones. 389, 389. Remember, you got to multiply that by 50. So biggest Memorial Stone gains, Brother Russia by 19,450 Dragon Stones, which is so depressing. Goresh plus 192, Alpal with 181, and Slaybix, again, making a big statement. So that is your percentage increases. Now, in terms of drops, since we've got so many people benefiting from the pity system, these are the biggest percentage drops. So we got Diddy Sauce up at the top. So minus 64%. Also the biggest drop in terms of Memorial Stones, 891. So this is plus 389. This is minus 891, which is huge. But again, he has essentially switched over to Legends, which is why Dokkan Assets, who insisted that I use this picture of him, minus 25%. Minus 25% again for Icy Josh. I am one of the biggest drops in terms of Memorial Stones, which I'm very proud to say. Minus 281. Let's go, baby. I hope that I can continue to drop the Memorial Stones year to year, because the more that I get from my insane luck and additional pities that come up, with Worldwide being the first time that they're doing the pity system for Dokkan Fest and Carnivals, we might see more of them. I don't know if we will for sure, but if we do, then I think my numbers will definitely go down next year, unless of course I start getting shafted. D Simon's all here rounding out the top 3 in terms of biggest drops. So in summation, 2023, 2024 in a nutshell, Brother Russia is the true global whale. Goresh got destroyed. We love to see it. Diddy Souse moved over to Legends. Yeah, where was Mass Ningen? The dude ghosted me. He's probably filming the Tron movie, so he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Alpal stopped being free to play. Pity System saved everyone. I definitely got luckier. There is a whole new like generation of Dokkan content creators who are on the rise. A lot more than the ones that I listed here. So shout out to these creators. There are many more that I didn't even get to point out in this video. And among the 20 content creators that I have on this subset here, we spent together almost 800,000 Dragonstones in the year 2023/2024, which is crazy. So there you go. That is the full Memorial Stone breakdown. Now, lastly, I would like to talk about what you can do with your Memorial Stones. So let me go back over here. I'm not actually going to be doing any summoning in this video, but I do want to show you guys in the shop what I think you should personally be doing with your Memorial Stones. The number one thing that you should be prioritizing are the rainbow tickets. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the rainbow tickets will allow you to summon on any of the 4 major banners. I went back and I checked last year. These rainbow tickets, these 21 tickets are the only ones that you're going to get, and they are usable from the start of part 2. That might happen this time. It might be a little bit later, but still you can use these on the 4 major banners. So they are going to be 7-unit non-GSSR multis, but still extra chances, extra opportunities to summon on any of those banners. So if you got shafted on the Go-Go Trunks banner or the Broly banner, or perhaps whatever's coming up in part 2, and you want to focus on one with 3 more multis, this is your chance to do it. I went back and I looked at my video from last year. I blue skied into a Fusion Zamasu in that video with these. So I'm going to go ahead and buy these right now. So subtracting 105 Memorial Stones from my count, I'm now at 1497. The next most important thing that you should do is buy enough so that you have at least 50 tickets so that you can do these summons right here. There are multiple banners of this, so do keep that in mind. There is only a singular opportunity to summon and recruit 20 SSRs with this banner. That'll cost you 50. It'll also cost you another 50 to do this. So what you should do as the next step is to buy enough so that you have 100 tickets, 50 for this, 50 for that. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do after that. I'm not just going to spend all of them on these tickets right away, but I am going to buy whatever I can right now. So I need 72. So with the 72, I now have 100 tickets. I still have 1425 left over. Why am I doing that? Well, because we're still going to be earning more of these worldwide celebration tickets throughout the celebration. At least now I have these 2 covered. So at any point, if I feel like it, I can summon for these 2. When I do, these 2 banners will go away, and then I can do as many of these 50 regular summons as I want. There is no difference when it comes to these summons versus these or singles. The purpose of this is to solely be able to summon at a higher volume without having to constantly spam the 7-unit multi. So normally people would just say, spend all your Memorial Stones, turn them into tickets, and just do a bunch of 50-unit multis. The reason why I suggest you wait is because, again, you're going to be earning more of these worldwide tickets over the course of the celebration. By the end of the celebration, once you know truly how many tickets you're going to have, you can then convert slowly but surely, little chunks of them until you have enough to do these 50-unit multis. And then if for whatever reason, maybe you have like 200 or 150, 155 Memorial Stones left, and there's one unit that you really wanted to pick up, and maybe because you used your redstones, you didn't have the option to pick them up, or maybe you couldn't pick them up with your other premium stones if you paid for them. This will give you one final chance to pick up any one last unit in particular. Obviously, it's better to go for the ticket summons, but having the option to do this, I think, is a better thing in the long run. And then at the end of the celebration, once you know exactly what you want, who's going to be getting easy A's, who's going to be getting super easy A's, I think then you can truly make those final decisions. So that's how I personally think you should approach it. If you don't want to do that, it is completely fine. I just like to be a little bit more methodical and more meticulous in terms of my approach to Dokkan responsibly. Again, you don't have to listen to anything I just said, because what do I know? I'm a whale. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments your thoughts and your take on how to go about using your Memorial Stones. Are you going to be using them first for the rainbow tickets? Are you just going to be converting the rest of them immediately into those tickets? Or are you going to try to approach it kind of along the lines of what I said, holding out slowly but surely, subsequently providing a few conversions here and there to tickets, and then saving the rest for a potential pickup? Let me know your thoughts overall in the comments down below. And also let me know in the comments, what is your memorial stone count? How many stones did you get over the last year? Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.